Welcome to the Midnight Matinee with your host and hostess, Robert and Angie Curtis.
Welcome, everyone, back to the Midnight Matinee.
Midnight Matinee.
We saw a new movie again, so...
We'll give you the synopsis, though.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about the newest film that we went and saw.
In 1986, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren travel to Pennsylvania to vanquish a demon from a family's home. Dun dun dun!
Yep.
So you guessed it. The Conjuring Last Rites.
Yep, it's the last of the Conjuring movies.
That's it.
They tied it up. At the end of this, at the end of the movie, they tied up all of the loose ends. They kind of explained what happened after Ed passed away and how the story closed basically at the end of this movie. So it was good.
It had a lot of more of a biographical too.
Yeah.
And I know, like you were saying, that some people, if they're going to go see a pure horror movie, probably don't care.
Yeah.
But for those of us who are paranormal investigators who consider the Lorraine and Ed kind of the what do you call them? Not the Godfather and
they were innovators in the
field,
paranormal kind of celebrity space, and it was, if you're a person who likes, that don't look at the Warrens as being like frauds and paranormal hucksters like everyone likes to say, if you look at them as people who lived in a time where they were trying to profit off of the paranormal, then it's perfectly fine, because I mean, if you in 10 years, if you analyze, Ghost Adventures or any of those shows, you could look at those people and be like, they're much worse than the Warrens were. So
yeah, I liked the story. I kind of liked seeing, we had gotten snippets of their backstory and how they came together and how they became a couple and how they kind of got into this thing, how they had a daughter, and now we kind of see the daughter, she's grown up and how she's with Tony Spiro, is that his name?
Spiro.
Yeah, Tony Spiro. And how he came into the fold, and
they had kind of held Judy out of the show until like the Annabelle
comes home.
That until that one, you never really saw Judy in any of the stuff. She was like a background character. If she was even in the scene at all, it was just she was there with the family, and then something happened. But she was never directly acting in this. Yeah. So this was nice to see the other part of the Ed and Lorraine Warren show. You got to see the daughter and her husband, and then it was. If you know about the Warrens, then there was a lot of scenes in this where you were like
little Easter eggs.
Yeah, there was a lot of Easter eggs in it, which I really appreciated.
They kind of brought it all full circle. I don't want to ruin it. We don't do any spoilers.
Yeah, but
it kind of brought it all back around. Not cute, I wouldn't call, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and
warm, heartwarming kind of moments where it called back to other stuff that happened in other movies.
In their lifetime, yeah.
Yeah. So there was some moments that were sad, where like Ed and Lorraine are at a lecture, and they're having trouble with the slide machine, so he asks to turn the lights on, and there's only like 4 people.
Yeah. Who are kind of the waning in it.
Yeah.
And they were, I guess lecture was right around
when the Ghostbusters came out.
Yeah, the Ghostbusters movies are coming out.
So people were being silly about the Ghostbusters and stuff.
Which, ironically enough, it was the movie Ghostbusters that kind of got me wanting to do that, to be a paranormal investigator. I mean, we saw horror movies and Enemy of a Horror and all that, but it's kind of like where it all started.
Yeah.
Who are you going to call? Midnight Matinee. No.
It was good. A lot of the complaints that I saw about this movie before we saw it was that it was too much of the Warrens' background and not enough of the Smurl haunting story, because that was, if you know anything about the Smurl haunting, it was kind of like the Amityville Horror type scenario, but it happened in more of a media era, so they were on a lot of
the
TV
news
shows and the news and things like that. So it was a little more to the forefront of paranormal events, I guess. And they kind of played to that in this, but it's really, this could have been like 2 movies.
It was a longer movie because it was over 2 hours.
Yeah, it was over 2 hours. And then our theater had half an hour of trailers that we saw before the movie even started. So it wasn't until like almost midnight when we got home.
Yeah. By then we're like tired because I was originally thought, oh, we'll get home, we can go ahead and just put our fresh thoughts. But it's been kind of marinating in my brain.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked the story. The Smurls were. I would have been out of that house, but.
Yeah, that's a hard thing, and a lot of times on the Ghost Files, that when we would watch that show, it's just a lot of the same thing where people, they're kind of being taken advantage of. They don't have any money. They can't just like leave.
Oh, there was a family, like a 3-generation family living. There was like 8 people in one house. 8 people
living in this one like 3 or 4 bedroom house. Maybe a 3-bedroom, but it's right next to the steel mill. So there's trucks driving by all hours of the day and night. So it's a cheap house.
Yeah, in Pittsburgh or somewhere in Pennsylvania.
They said it was like Pittsfield or something like that.
Pittsfield, Pitt something.
Pitt something.
There's a lot of Pitt over there.
Yeah, and it gives off like if you watched our last review, I was talking about how the house in England had a lot of mold and stuff like that. Well, this is the same way. Like there's a patch of wallpaper that's missing as you go up the stairs in this house, and there's black mold all over it.
But you got a question, like as an investigator, a real investigator, you have to look at the environmental factors. Is there high EMF? Is there black mold? Is there anything that could be contributing to neurological issues?
From a steel mill.
Yeah. Water.
Right. Running water. And everything. It checks all the boxes in this one. So, as far as paranormal goes, and as paranormal investigators, I appreciated this movie. I thought it wasn't like over glorifying the Warrens in any way. I didn't think that, like a lot of people said, like, well, it made the Warrens out to be superheroes, and then the haunting part of it was like a backstory. And I was like, well, after watching it, I don't really agree with that. It kind of shows you like a slice of life of the Warrens. And it shows you like more of like that they had a lot of friends and that they had things that happened in their life.
They had a normal life.
Paranormal, right? They had backyard barbecues. They had friends that came over. That's what it was supposed to show you, is that they were actual people.
Making pancakes or whatever, or French toast or whatever.
Exactly.
Well, and one of the central focuses, and we're not really giving anything away, is the mirror there's a mirror that's actually in Edward Lane Warren's Paranormal Museum. It's considered the Conjuring mirror? Is that what they call it?
The Conjuring mirror.
And what I thought was interesting, and I don't know if maybe it was, but they had intricate like these little cherubs on the top of the one, at least in the movie. Yeah, and it reminded me of the movie The Haunting. The Haunting,
right, with the fireplace.
Which obviously Lily Taylor from
the bed frame,
the original Conjuring movie.
And she has a cameo in this too.
You just gave an Easter egg.
Yeah. So all of the families from the other movies are in. They attend the wedding for Judy. So it was kind of fun. They have a pan across, and I was looking in the background to see if I recognized like Judy or Tony, like the actual.
Were they actually
people.
In there?
I didn't see him, but I thought that
they did have a thing for Dan.
Yeah, they had a memorial for Dan Rivera at the end of it, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, the end.
So, like, as far as horror movies goes, at the end it does hit on all cylinders, and
it had some good jump scares. I jumped. Me, I'm always like.
There's a couple of scenes that had some really good effects in it. The typical Conjuring, like, look this way, there's something going on over here.
Yeah, and a lot of stuff going on in the background. Yeah. You're like, what's going on there?
As what did we say? This is the ninth Conjuring movie. So, it was time. I think it was time to pay, to do like a retrospective a little bit, and then kind of bring the series to an end. Now, I don't feel like they're going to try to make another one.
I was going to say, did Ed die like in the early 90s, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is pretty much their last hurrah. Now, we were just saying that there's unless you go backwards, there's no more Annabelle, because Annabelle at this point is locked in their thing.
Yeah.
The Nun, obviously, you'd have to go backwards for this, because
Right.
they were never actually in. The Warrens were never actually in any kind of part of the Nun part of the movies.
No.
Because that really predated them.
Was the, what do you call it? The sister.
Yeah, the sister was.
Yeah.
But they had no part in investigating, is what I was trying to say.
Well, and that was one of the things that I said about this movie too, and it's sort of a spoiler, but not really, because the Valak isn't in this one. And I thought, because Valak is the overarching demon in all of the Conjuring movies, is kind of, I thought the payoff would be in the end, they would have like a direct confrontation with Valak, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't. And
well, they had multiple entities, but then they also said that there was
a demon behind everything, and then it just kind of
ramped everything up.
Yeah, and then just that. A missed opportunity, I think.
There's some scenes in there, like, I was like, a little more. Didn't want to care to see that, but not going to give any spoilers.
Well, and yeah, to discuss it, I'd have to give you a spoiler, but what happened to their friend, the Catholic priest in this movie, I thought for certain was leading down the road to Valak. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking in the background, because, they always have, the letters. I didn't see anything that... Of course, the first time you watch anything, you can't watch everything.
Right.
So
you don't catch it. And then
when you watch it again, you'll be like, oh, okay. But...
Yeah.
Okay.
So we wanted to give it... Here's our rating system.
And we, just like the 2 and 3, we decided to go with a 4, Nightmare Fuel, 4 out of 5. Takes you to the edge of horror, leaving a chill in your spine, dark and twisted in all the right ways. I think that they basically went out on a high note.
Yeah.
I don't think you're ever going to get above The Conjuring when it first came out, because it was so unique. It was so different than your basic slasher, because that came out during a time when there was this nonstop Saw, body horror,
and those extreme horror movies.
All the Japanese ones, just. It was nice to see something different, and I will say probably of most universes, I think The Conjuring is probably one of my favorite. Right up there with, I like Insidious. I kind of like those ones where it keeps you guessing. You don't have to have like the glorified gore, like tearing tendons out and jumping into vats of needles.
The way I like to think about, or to rate universes, is if you play the movies out of order, right? Mm-hmm. Like, let's say you took this one, you played The Conjuring, and then immediately played this movie. It wouldn't be out of place.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if you didn't know the other ones existed, and you just watched The Conjuring, and then you watched this one, it flows. You know what I'm saying? Whereas there's not a lot of franchises where you could take, like, Friday the 13th Part 1, and then play Friday the 13th Part 12 right next, end to end, and then have any sort of continuity.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? Or like Nightmare on Elm Street, in Freddy versus Jason or whatever. Like, there's no... they just don't mesh. Whereas this, I think you could take any of the Conjuring movies and play them, next to this movie or the first movie, and it would be an enjoyable experience, because the movies flow. The whole universe has a cohesion to it. It's the same actors playing the same roles in every single movie. Yeah. So as soon as you see a person, even though like they're not in their police uniform or whatever, you know exactly who that person is. Or you see the camera guy from the first movie, you know who that guy is.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like. I appreciate that continuity of characters and continuity of story arc, and the tone is the same in all of these movies. That the lighting is a lot of similar, even though they're not always made by James Wan or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he directed this one.
So I really appreciate that, and for this to be the last one of the movies, they could have just phoned it in and took a paycheck.
Yeah,
and it has a really good story. It has good acting. It's really shot really well. There's a lot of scenes where it subverts expectations with what you think is going to happen. Something different happens, which is kind of cool.
John Wayne got me a couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's some controversy about the Warrens,
Right.
their own real life, but I liked that they, even into this, like if you know anything, they wear similar outfits. Like if she's got like on a plaid, something on him is going to match.
Yeah, he wears like a plaid tie when she wears a plaid dress or whatever,
and the love that they had for each other. And maybe it's just because I really like Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga.
Yeah, they
them
have
as on screen. I thought that they have great chemistry. Right. And I even asked, I said, I wonder how old Vera, because she's playing a wide range here, and I guess she's as I said, 52.
Yeah.
So she's about our age or whatnot. I'm a little older, but
but yeah. And then, like I said, if you know this world and you like the real Warrens, there's little Easter eggs through this. Like Tony Spira drives a blue El Camino in this, and he really did have a blue El Camino back in the 80s. There's pictures of them standing next to it, so that was kind of cool. And just a little attention to detail like that I can appreciate, because it's like a little nod, like, to make you realize that these are real people.
Yeah, this was real people. Maybe, obviously everything in Hollywood has been dramatized
and sanitized and streamlined a little bit, but
dialogue added. But
people always talk trash about the Warrens and how they were, but at the end of the day, they were real people.
Who wanted to help people.
Yeah, and they had a daughter, they had a life. They were a family. So it doesn't do you any service to dump all over people that are gone.
Yeah. Because she died a few years ago, and Lorraine did. Well, is there anything else that's really back? Is there anything else that's been going on? We finished last night. We finished up Wednesday.
Yeah, we watched them.
That was cute. I like it.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a cute Tim Burton.
And they left it wide open for a Wednesday 3, which they're going to have. Because it's just a license to print money at this point.
Well, I'm in the process of trying to compile a list of witch movies, but I don't know if I'm losing my mind. But right now, we haven't had a whole lot of actual witch horror movies. Like there are movies with witches in it, like Witches of Eastwick. I wouldn't consider that a horror movie. That wasn't on that list, but that was one of the ones I was thinking of. Cause
it is a horror movie, though.
You would consider that?
Yeah.
When I guess the question is,
if you guys have any suggestions for which horror movies, let us know.
Now, we are a horror movie channel. I said, why don't we throw in something like, what was the one? Like, there's a Scooby-Doo movie with witches. Now, does that classify as horror? Probably not. And there's like the movies like Halloween Town and
right. Well,
when we started this, we were watching, Charlie Brown and it wasn't specifically horror.
Because we did like.
Classic
horror movies.
Or we were doing
Halloween movies.
Yeah, because it started out, it was actually us doing Halloween movies with an advent calendar.
And then we did zombie movies and vampire movies and
demonic possession,
haunted house movies and
ghost movies,
possession movies, and
we did the classics. Where we watched the 1923 version.
The Foundations of horror. We did that one.
So I don't know. Like I don't want to make anybody upset if we're not watching a pure horror movie by definition. Where do you put Hocus Pocus in all of this? Do you consider that a horror movie, or is that a family movie?
I don't know. There's a lot of Halloween movies that are family movies first, but they do kind of fall in the horror section.
I mean, if it's something that's scary, like think about Disney used to this Something Wicked This Way Comes. It was a Disney movie.
It's one of my favorites, by the way.
I mean, Bedknobs and Broomsticks was on that list. Now I put in, pull me 31 movies with witches, and
right.
I guess, and there was some family in there. I tried to use ChatGPT. I normally just compile it by going through and searching and make the list. And I thought, I'll see a ChatGPT. Let's see if AI is smart enough to come up with a list. And then they came up with a list that basically had the same 5 movies over and over again.
Yeah, it was
The Craft. Suspira. But if you guys have any suggestions on a witch horror movie, if it's I can't say it's on our list or not, but give us some suggestions.
Yeah.
Because
a lot of the stuff that ChatGPT suggested, I wouldn't consider a witch movie or a horror movie.
Yeah.
Just because, is the Witchfinder General was on that list, and I don't believe there's any witches in that movie.
Well, and then there was a Hereditary, which I guess I could classify. I thought that was more of a cult.
The family, I guess the grandmother was a witch.
It's all a gray area.
So I don't know. If you have any suggestions, let us know. We'll look them up. We'll add them to our list, and
because we're getting down
we got to get
now.
31 horror movies that are based on witches. Is what we're looking at.
Yeah, and our final. Let's see. So we did 26. Our final 5 movies all begin. Are from last year for demonic possessions. All have the word "the" at the end. At the beginning, I mean.
Yeah.
The.
Yeah.
the. They need to get a little more original with their titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was our review of the Conjuring Last Rites. So.
And spooky season has started.
We gave it 4 out of 5.
I'm wearing some purple. Got excited.
So we thought that it would be it'd be worth your time to go and see.
And we saw it on the big screen. We picked a smaller theater, and it was like only adults in ours, which was nice.
It was not, though.
No.
That's what we wanted.
We wanted it. Oh, and I gotta know. Okay. Oh, a good majority, I would say a third of the theater came in jammies with blankets to the movie theater. Now, I understand when we were kids, we go to the drive-in, but we were in our car,
right.
And we're talking like young adults here, dressed.
And a third of the theater played on their phones the entire time through the movie and didn't watch a single second of it.
I don't know why they wasted the money.
There was 2 girls in the front row who talked to each other the entire movie and never even looked up at the screen.
I wouldn't sit down there anyway, though, because they were in that front section.
They were all in the front 2 rows where you're looking up at the screen the whole time.
You'll never catch me.
And they were on their phones the entire movie. Like you could see TV screen or phone screens in the first 2 rows the entire time. Yeah.
Would you say Gen Z?
I don't know. But it was bad.
Especially when you're paying that kind of money, because it's not cheap to go to an evening movie on a Friday night.
No.
Because normally I'll pick a matinee, because it's not cheap to go to the movies anymore. But
No. By the time you buy some popcorn, and so like the 2
soda.
kids who sat next to us, they got up and went to the concession thing like 8 times during the movie. And this stupid theater has when you recline in your seat, there's not enough space between the rail and your feet, so everybody has to put their thing down. It's not like you push the button. It's like, or it goes down. Right. So people are just annoying. They were annoying me. It was taking me out of the movie.
This is why Bob doesn't like going to the movies.
I don't.
And like I said, I picked a smaller theater because they had it on the
IMAX.
They had it on IMAX, but they also had it on the special of what do they have, an extra large screen or something too? The XL, or I can't remember the name of it. So anyway, in the back. Anything else?
I don't think so.
I guess that's it then.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time on the
Midnight Matinee.
Here's Todd.
Here's Todd.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
You've been watching the Midnight Matinee, brought to you by the Veritas Project. So when the clock strikes 12, grab your tickets for the next episode of the Midnight Matinee.